Hey there, hey, and let's start this podcast off by saying, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Today is not just July 4th, but it's Independence Day. And it's a perfect opportunity for us to talk about the reasons why you should love the United States of America, especially if you're lucky enough to be a citizen of this amazing country. This is the one place in the world where you can have nothing and be everything all at once. You can start off with absolutely nothing, but you can achieve goals and you can become anything you want to be. Anything is possible here. Which leads me in the beginning of our conversation, which we have every day. Yes, you can decide you want to make a difference and be the difference in the day. Yes, you can. Never give up, because if you ever give up, how are you going to get the best part of your story in America, right? How are you going to get to the best part of that story? And finally, why not today? Why can't today be the day you make the decision to do what you need to do to make this the most amazing place it's ever been? It can be that day. Today is just another day and another opportunity for you to recognize your star power, recognize where you've been, where you're going, to see the reflection in your America in the mirror and know who you are. When I look in the mirror, I know I'm free. I know that I can do anything I put my mind to, and I know that I can succeed and prosper, accomplish goals, and be exactly who I always wanted to be. And I'm so grateful for that. And you should be grateful for that too, right? We should seriously live in a place where we're not concerned about how we're going to become something, but instead we're excited because we don't know what's next, because we can't see over the horizon. Because if we work really hard, we can be successful, we can accomplish things, and we can get to a new tax bracket. I want to encourage you today of all days to be grateful of the country that we live in. I know I'm about to go into No Media Allowed. I'm going to talk about some things that probably aren't good, and there's a lot of negative things going on, including the housing market that are making me and my husband suffer because we're in the middle class, and the only people that suffer when things go bad in this country is the middle, because we pay the most taxes and we don't get handouts. So the only people that are suffering here are the middle. And that's just really sad, really upsetting, and really horrible, honestly. But overall, there's some good things to talk about too. This is a time of the year where everybody comes together, and we should praise the flag of the United States of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. George Washington did not want to be a king. He wanted to break us away from that idea of auto autopilots and China, like the idea that everything wants to be based on the government, and he broke us away from that. There's the Constitution of the United States of America. There's all these documents that directed people away from that narrative, and we need to get back to what this country was founded on. If we can, then we can get back to some sort of normalcy. Anyways, thank you for tuning into this July 4th edition of Born to be a Star. Let's get into some of these headlines with no media allowed, no media allowed, no media allowed, because they lie to us anyway. The cost of education isn't worth it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you, oh yeah, everything is going great. If Biden really wanted to fix the problem with colleges, maybe he could deal with the actual colleges and the price that they're charging people, which is insane, right? It's insane. Think about that. But instead of doing that, he told millions of people, especially younger people in the United States, he was going to forgive all their student loans. No, he wasn't. Did you really think that that was going to happen? Because it didn't happen, did it? It didn't. I want you to be smart here, right? Everything costs more, which means education costs more. And I understand the value of education. You are investing in yourself with your education. That's why so many people have difficulties with everything, because they don't spend that time to invest in education, and they don't see the importance of education. And when you don't look at everything in hindsight, right? if you don't look at the fact that if you don't go to college, you don't have anything to fall back on. It's a very competitive market and it's a very competitive world. I'm talking about not just the United States, but the entire world. You want to work somewhere where it's not something small. You want to work somewhere where it's massive and big, in case you do want to move around the world and you want to have flexibility. You kind of want to find that in a different position. That more so can see that. I think that education is too expensive, and it's turning a lot of people off because they don't think they can afford it and they don't see the value in it. But when they don't see the value in education and they lose sight of the focus of it all and they lose sight of the importance of it, then they're missing out on the important thing, right? They're not hearing the message, right? And the message is only one thing, okay? It's one thing. Competition. If competition is everything, which it is, because it is, then how can you possibly compete with things if you're not competitive, right? How's that a possibility? How can you compete with things if you're not putting any effort into anything? You're not competing with anything. You're lying to yourself, acting like you're going to compete with something, but you're not. Because you know what isn't competing with something? Acting like if you don't have the education, you're going to have the same options. Because you're not going to have the same options. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you the grass is going to be greener on the other side, or you're going to figure everything out if you don't go to college. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, I'm here to tell you the truth. I tell you all the time about the value of education, right? I tell you all the time about why you have to set yourself apart, why you have to understand the competition, why you have to understand everything that's happening. And I tell you all the time the reasons why you can't be silly or stupid or naive or not aware of your surroundings. Because if at an early age you don't understand the importance of your education and you're like 30 something years old or 40 something years old attempting to get a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree or something as simplistic as that, it's going to be more difficult as you get older to get into a career and really seriously start your 401k and start thinking about your retirement. That's the situation we're in. The cost of education is very high. And if you want to set yourself apart, then you'll figure out a way to pay for it. There's just that. And I know people don't want to talk about loans and they don't want to talk about everything that comes with loans. And everybody was under the assumption that Joe Biden was going to pay off their student loans. And they thought that affirmative action was going to last forever so they could do the race game that they have been playing for the last 60 years or something. But that's not the answer. Affirmative action is racist in itself, right? The idea that somebody that works at a gas station that doesn't have debt has to pay off your student loans because you're a doctor or a lawyer or something like that is insane. Because that money is not going to middle class people. It was going to rich people. Don't for 1 second think that they were going to pay off your loans. They weren't. Wake up, man. Wake up. Outside of that, be aware that these people lie to you, regardless if they're Republican, Democratic, whatever. Green party, blue party, orange party, yellow party, whatever party it is. They just make up stuff. Because it's convenient. The Supreme Court should follow the Constitution, and I do believe that they did. And I don't think we should feel bad about the decisions that they've been making lately. The idea that affirmative action doesn't make sense in 2023, it doesn't. The idea that somebody that is a designer or does something in that field can decide they don't want to make something for a certain person because of a certain reason. Like, a state can't make somebody do that. That shouldn't be legal. And it shouldn't be legal for Joe Biden to tell millions of people that he's going to forgive their student loans, and he doesn't have an actual plan for it, and he didn't go through Congress. Nancy Pelosi admitted it in 2021, and there's videotape of her, because I've seen it multiple times, saying that exactly. He admitted it, okay? There's videotape of that. You know what that tells me? They knew they couldn't do it, yet they lied to everybody and told them that they were going to do it anyway. You know what that tells me? They're full of it. I'm just saying, right? Do you really for one moment think that these people are on your side? They're not. They've never been on your side, and they're surely not on your side right now. The reason that the Supreme Court can't be far left and make Roe v. versus Wade decisions that are killing babies, right? And are giving handouts to people that don't deserve the handouts, and basically telling black people or any minority that you can't make it because you need to adopt all these white ideas and all these white situations so you could basically be black but white. That's not helping the problem either. If black people want to be successful, they have to figure out what they're good at and succeed at that. They have to understand you probably are going to have to go to college. You probably are going to have to find a career or something that you're good at, and you might figure it out right away, or it might take you a little bit of time. But you have to put effort into your education. And parents, black parents, are going to have to pay attention to get out of this rut that everyone's in, where they're lying to themselves, blaming the Republican Party and blaming conservative Christians. That's not the reason that your children aren't learning like everybody else. Your children aren't learning like everyone else because you as a parent aren't paying attention to them. And that's going to lead them to getting older and not seeing a value in education. And when kids don't go to college when they get out of high school, you can tell. It's really obvious. Me hearing somebody that's 30 years old say they want to get their bachelor's degree at 30, what? Why weren't you getting your bachelor's degree when you were 17? Why didn't you graduate from high school and know what college you wanted to go to? How do you drop out of college when you're 18 years old? To do what? Like, see, this is my problem with all of this. No one understands the value of education because no one's telling these people what the value of education is. This is the problem with everything. When kids don't have structure and they are not surrounded by the right people and they don't have people actually wanting to educate them, they're not going to learn. There's that. The Constitution of the United States can only work if it's well grounded and it follows the principles of what the leaders wanted. This is all a connection of education, freedom of speech, the Supreme Court, the politicians, whether they're on the House, whether they're on the other side of that, whether they're Democrats, whether they're Republicans, whether they're Green Party, whether they're unaffiliated, or whatever they are. The only way that things can be successful is if we stop lying. The Supreme Court should follow the Constitution of the United States. The things that I spoke about earlier should be well minted into young children's minds. I grew up knowing I was going to college. Sure, I thought I wanted to go to like 5 million of them, but after a while, I finally figured it out, and I got it done, and I did it. Right? There was no excuses. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? No, I did it. See, I completed it. Regardless of everything else, I got my education. I even got a master's degree. So when I'm hearing people tell me why they can't do things, I just keep thinking if I could do it while working multiple jobs and doing a million things, why can't you? Right? Why is the idea that you have a problem with me wanting to utilize my freedom of speech, which is a right? Why do people that become residents of America think that they have a better idea of what American values and laws are because they became citizens of this country from another country? Why did you get to dictate what I'm doing because you think you understand? What the fuck does that mean? Here's where my questions come from, right? These are where my questions are arising from. We do have freedom of speech, and you can dislike what I'm saying. You can dislike my opinion. You can decide you don't agree with me. I can decide I don't agree with you, but you still should be able to say what your opinion is. The moment we stop allowing people to have opinions, there's a problem. Clearly, there was a lot of things wrong with COVID when it happened and everything that happened with COVID, and we don't know the half of it. And the idea that the White House is hiding all that information and they don't want to show us the origins of that plague, right? We helped create COVID. You know how I know that? Because why do you think Dr. Fauci was so willing to hide everything? He definitely had something to do with it. And I'm pretty sure the Pentagon had something to do with it as well. Why are we funding all this money in Ukraine? Why are we giving China an easy pass? Why is Blinken going to China kissing the guy's ass? Why are we not acting like we're not about to be in serious trouble messing around with Russia? And I know people want to act like Russia is not strong and there's something wrong with Putin. But if you think Putin is bad, what about the last people, those Uyghur people? They're really crazy. The only thing we should be talking about every day is the fact that we're fighting a war we're not in, and we're spending taxpayer money on things that don't matter. Did you see what happened at the airports the last couple of weeks with people traveling during holidays? So you want to be stuck at an airport not knowing when you're going to leave, not knowing what's next? Do you want that to be your life? Because it could be. I mean, I don't want to experience that, and I don't want anyone else to experience that. The idea that John Kerry and AOC and Greta, whatever the fuck her name is, and all these people want to tell you about climate, but they're on private planes, but they're not actually doing what they say they're doing. Just like during COVID when the politicians met up for dinners at restaurants, and they weren't wearing masks, but they were harboring to us, the people, telling us how we needed to be 6 feet apart from each other, convincing us to inject ourselves with COVID vaccinations that don't actually work. The idea that the President of the United States of America took all the COVID boosters and shots and still got COVID. That's all I'm saying. Free speech means something. And if you don't like it, I don't care. Obama isn't on American side. No, Obama's on his side. He likes his big estate in Martha's Vineyard, and he also likes his other residency in Hawaii. Do you actually think he cares about you? He wants to break America apart. That's what he originally did to begin with. He has been lying since he got into office. How do you think he became so rich? Why does he have an estate in Martha's Vineyard? Do you know how much it costs to live in Martha's Vineyard, to rent a house in Martha's Vineyard, to be in Edgartown, to actually hang around these places? It's not cheap, right? But we're going to pretend like it is? Yeah, okay. Right. I don't see it. You shouldn't see it either. This is a bunch of crap. It is a bunch of crap. Obama is a joke. His wife trying to get kids to take sugary drinks, pretending like she's trying to help kids with something. Have you seen the pictures of her pregnant with her daughters? Because I haven't. Right? Have you seen the ratings for their show? Because I haven't seen that either. Right? Don't you want to look at the numbers and see how many people are listening to them talk on these social platforms? Because I do, right? I want to see, are they actually good at this? Because if they are, great. But if they aren't, then why do they keep talking? Why do you keep trying to convince me that you're doing something you're not? They supposedly have a deal with Spotify. Well, they suck at this. Just like how, what is his name? Megan and her ridiculous, affiliated with the royal family husband had a deal, and then they flunked on it because they don't have anything to talk about. These people are all grifters. They grift into whatever conversation they can have. They lie and act like they're going to do all these things. They don't have any actual plan. They're lying. And the Obamas, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, don't care about any normal people. And if for one moment you thought that they did, where are they when something really bad happens to black people? When people get shot in Chicago all the time, are they at everyone's funeral that dies in Chicago? Or do they only pick out the ones where there's a white person killing a black person and then act like it's so horrible? What about that reverend that seems to always have something to say? Like he's talking about that Perry kid that's like in the military that helped those people out on that train. He's saying all these things. The NAACP, the National Negro League, is an embarrassment to itself. Them acting like black people shouldn't go to Florida. Black people are excelling in Florida. Shut up, man. And you live there. So what are you talking about? This stuff is beginning to become embarrassing. Remember when the Democrats put on all that African stuff and pretended like they cared about black people? You putting on African things is not showing that you care about black people. You know how you care about black people? By educating their kids. That's it. Honestly, ask yourself, why aren't they ever around when something happens? Why they attack judges? Because they only like judges when the judges are on their side. The sign of insanity, right? They just want the judges to be leftist and progressive, insane psychopaths. They don't want anyone that's logical or uses common sense. They lack that. They don't understand. If you don't have enough money to pay for A and B, then you can't get A and B. You're going to have to decide if you want A or B. If your plan doesn't last for an entire year, then you can't not go through with creating something that you can't actually finish building. Cocaine in the White House over this past weekend, and it's not anywhere on the mainstream media. Fox News just came out with something either Monday or today, but nobody knows. Like I tell you, the only person you can really trust is Tucker Carlson. Go find him on Twitter. Unless you're looking at Tucker Carlson, you're not actually listening to news. And I like a bunch of these other people. Royce Wright is okay too, but these people are getting paid, right? I'm not convinced that we're getting the full story or full narrative. And you should be questioning that. I'm just saying. There's cocaine in the White House, and we know who it came from. Guess what? Hunter Biden has been in the White House. Why? That man is 50-something years old. Why is he there? Question mark. Anyways, it is an amazing, amazing day where we have had such an amazing time saluting the American flag and being proud to be American. And I gotta tell you, the one thing that I get most happy about every year is the 4th of July, because it's not just the 4th of July, it is Independence Day. And they had to take away a holiday that actually meant something by switching it over to Juneteenth. Why they needed to do that, I don't know. No one knew what Juneteenth was before they started all this race baiting crap. We need to appreciate America. Because if we do not appreciate America correctly, we're going to be in China and Cuba, and we aren't going to have anything. And they're trying to do that now. You have to fight. You need to use whatever you can to speak up and fight. I'm just saying. Thank you for tuning in to this Tuesday edition of No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed, No Media Allowed. They lie to us anyway. The idea that they didn't talk about the cocaine in the White House for days. Seriously, let's just be happy that we are in America and we are free. I love that I can walk around with a flag on my shirt, and I can wear my Vans that have red, white, and blue in them, and that symbolizes something special to me. I love the idea that my ancestors before me fought for me to be free, and I am free. I love the idea that I live in a place that's full of people from all different places, and it doesn't care. I am American, and I am proud. And as much as I criticize this place, there's no place I'd rather be. Let's get into the tea of this Tuesday on this 4th of July. The tea is, are you going to see fireworks? And when are the fireworks? I don't know. I looked at a list of where the fireworks were around here, and honestly, I don't know if I'm even going to see them. Why are they throwing stinkers about fireworks in New York and California, acting like they don't want to have fireworks? But you could have fireworks for like Juneteenth, and you could do fireworks for the fucking LGBTQ month of hell that I had to experience last month, which was a nightmare. You want to celebrate that stuff, but you don't want to celebrate American things? But back to my question. Are you going... Here's the question of the day. Here's the tea talk. Do you like going to see the fireworks on July 4th, or would you rather see it after? That's the question. I don't really care. If there's fireworks near where I live, I'll see them either on the day or after the day or whenever they're available. I just like seeing the fireworks, so I don't care where I see them, just as long as I see them. There's a couple of areas around us that I've enjoyed seeing them. There's this place called New London, and they have amazing fireworks. You have to go by the railroad, and if you get the perfect spot, if you're there early enough, it's really beautiful. Like, I love being by the ocean, and I love just seeing all the colors in the sky. It's a feeling that nothing else gives you, and it's exciting and it's fun, and I love fireworks. Fireworks to me means it's summer. Getting into the main part of the conversation, how do you pick a new perfume? I don't know. Like, I really need to figure out what new scent I want to wear. I was considering Michael Kors, but I really don't wear Michael Kors like that, so I don't know. Like, I was really considering Chanel. But which Chanel? There's like so many of them. I really need to take time and go through perfumes, maybe go on a perfume website and figure out what scent to get. My husband just wears Creed. He doesn't wear anything else. It's just Creed. So whenever I need to buy him something, I just know to buy him a bottle of Creed because he's not going to wear anything else. He's been wearing that forever. I was wearing some Escada for a while, and I switched to that, to like some Ralph Lauren thing, and I can't remember the name of it. But now I'm looking for a new scent. I don't know if I should go back to Escada, or I don't know what I should do, which is why I was considering Chanel. I really want something that's really light but big at the same time, and it really has the scent of just glamour, and that's what Chanel makes me feel like. So I think I'm going back to that. But for guys, is it easier to pick a cologne than for women? Like, are we looking for the same thing when it comes to like a scent? I feel like maybe it's similar, but I don't know. The youth aren't in school. They're too busy running around burning down cities in Chicago, acting like they're going to be the next TikTok star on social media, trying to be famous because they want to be one of these people that don't have jobs. And, you know, part of me wants to be one of those people too, but I actually work at a job, so I don't really have time to do that. But maybe I should. I don't know. These are the questions. But these kids aren't learning in school. I told you already, they can't read, they can't write, they can't talk. They can't have a cognitive conversation about anything. They probably don't even know what cognitive is. These people are happy about the fact that they cannot speak basic English, right? I like to do word puzzles and word searches. I find that fun, and it helps me articulate my mind, and it helps me think. These people can't do anything. There's my question. What are you doing to become smarter? My answer is they're doing nothing. We need to do a better job with our educational system, the K through 12, and also before they go to college. We need to instill in children why they need to go to college, why they need to go to the Army, why they need to figure it out. And if it's not the college, and it's not the army, then why you need to figure out how to find out what your niche is. Is it nannying? Is it opening up a restaurant? Or what are you going to do, man? Are you going to become one of these people that go around and they're brand ambassadors? Because that's fun too. What are you going to do? The youth doesn't care about school anymore, and we need to be concerned about that, because who is going to become these judges? Who's going to become these lawyers? Who's going to become the leaders? Who is going to represent the population? It's not going to be the youth. Volunteering is food for the soul. I love volunteering. I volunteer at my church, and I couldn't do anything that makes me happier than knowing I'm making a difference in my community. It just means so much to me to be able to do something this way. And I take part in being a greeter at church. I'm on the choir, and I'm on the gardening team. So, I take what I do very seriously. I show up on time, and I do whatever the responsibility is. Whenever they need somebody to volunteer for something at church, I show up and I do it, because I take it very seriously. And I just think there's no better way for me to show my appreciation than to volunteer and show how grateful I am for everything that I have. And I don't expect to get anything out of it. I'm not doing it because I want somebody to say great job. I'm doing it because it really means something to me. To me, volunteering my time and being that person and making a difference is everything. Adult coloring books are fun. Like, sometimes you just need to have a night where you're spending time in, and maybe you're not going around or driving around, and maybe you have a coloring book and you're really taking time to just draw and color and have fun and have a good conversation. And that's a really great thing that you can do outside of having a game night. Coloring books are a lot of fun. So who doesn't want to have them? Game nights. I think it's so important to spend time with your family and your friends and to have game nights. You can have pizza, you can have salad, you could have a variety of anything. Who doesn't want to do that, right? It's fun, man. Spending quality time with your family. I just said that. That's what game nights is. That's what an adult coloring book is. Spending time to have a conversation, talk about things that were difficult, talk about how you're moving forward, even if you're talking about something that doesn't make you happy, like me talking to my mom or my other mom about the fact that we hate the job market, or me, having to tell people that I have polycystic ovary syndrome, but I don't have it anymore, so now I get to say I recovered from it. Thank God. Thank God, right? I'm past that, right? How do we get past where we were and understand the value of a family? It's taking little bits of time. It's spending maybe your Friday night and having a game night, having a movie night. What's your favorite song? Do you want to go to this concert? Do you want to go try out this play? What can we do and do it as a family? That's important, man. And I really think we all need to understand that. I really do. Family is everything. Moving into watching things, Wolfpack, oh my God, so good. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy that show. I think it's connected to Teen Wolf, but I'm not sure. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is in it. I still haven't finished all of it yet, but I feel like I'm going to. The Crowded Room, me and Skip started watching that on Apple, and it's really good. It comes out every Friday, which is very interesting, and I really can't wait to see what they do with that. I think we're all caught up on the episodes this week. Ted Lasso, I still haven't started watching it. I'm still not done with episode 1. I really need to get back into that. I've just been caught up with rewatching Kitchen Nightmares and this werewolf show that I really like, Silo. I need to start that from season 1, but it looks like somebody was watching it, but I need to go in and see, what was season 1 about? I don't remember. Hijack is a show, not a movie, so remember I kept saying I was going to watch that. It's a show. We are going to start watching it. I don't know when, maybe this week. Liaison. That looks like something I definitely want to watch. That is on Apple. Tetris is on Apple too. That's a movie. Sharper. High Desert looks okay. use whey when you lose interest in something, just stop looking at it. There's no point. Like, if you don't like the characters, or you don't like the storyline, or things aren't ending up the way you wanted them to end, it's okay to find something else to listen to or watch. It's okay to just let it go, right? Don't just keep watching something and you decide you hate it. Like, we were watching this show on Apple, the one about New York, and we just stopped looking at it, The Servant, and now we're not even thinking about it. It's just over, and we're not looking back. Moving on from watching things to eating things, what did you eat on this 4th of July? I had, a burger, and it was pretty good. I had a sriracha burger, and I was actually really surprised by it, and I would definitely eat it again. I'm really picky when it comes to burgers, but this hit all the spots. I asked for an aioli on the side to dip my sweet potato fries in, and oh my God, was that good. Not only that, but weight loss depends on you. If you want to lose weight, then you have to build a regimen, and you have to do something. You have to build a meal plan, and you have to have a something that makes it easier for you to do every week. Like, are you making your meal prep? Are you doing one of these food websites? Are you going to be doing something that makes dinner for you, or are you going to get your dinner out a couple of nights during the week? Are you going to be doing frozen things like lean cuisine? Or are you going to be doing some of those options instead of making things all the time? I told you I was reverting to my meal plan, and I think I'm going to go full keto, and I can't wait to do that. We'll see what happens. Outside of that, you have to want to lose weight to lose weight. I go to the gym, and I have a trainer, and I go to the gym multiple times a week because I want to be healthy, and I understand the value in it, and I love that, right? That's why I do it. You have to want to be healthy. You have to eat healthy. You have to drink water. You have to eat portions, and you have to eat the correct amount of food. You can't overeat. You can't undereat, and you have to understand the importance of fruits, vegetables, and everything that goes inside of it. Drink water, but don't over drink water, right? Know the amount of water you're supposed to drink and drink that. Simple and easy. You don't want to be meal prepping things that are going to take you 5 hours to make. Like, I like making lasagna, but that's probably not something I'm going to want to make during the week. It's probably something I'm going to want to take my time with, honestly. Veggies, spinach, parm, zucchini noodles. Do we think that sounds good? I feel like that's a lot of work. Less carbs, more veggies. I don't even really like carbohydrates like that. I mean, I'm not saying you got to completely get rid of all your carbs, but like, if for lunch you're having a sandwich, maybe for dinner have a salad, or maybe for lunch have a salad and then for dinner have a sandwich. If you're going to have pizza, then for one of the meals you can't have carbs. Like, you have to really figure it out, and you can't just go crazy and insane. You really have to do a portion with that stuff. French onion chicken pasta. I don't feel like I would eat that, but maybe I'd try it. Grilled cheese hot dogs. Now that does sound like something I definitely want to eat. And finally, green tea. Green tea is something that you should drink, once a day, maybe every day. It's definitely something that I think you should put into your regimen and your diet, and it's definitely going to have you feeling clean and feeling even better than you did before. This, my friends, is the end of this 4th of July podcast of Born to Be a Star. Don't forget that you are a star wherever you are. And don't forget that there's stars on the American flag. So that represents all the states in the United States of America. And I dare you to want to be that star for America. I dare you to want to be that star for you. And I dare you to want to be the light in the darkness. Don't forget that you are the light in the darkness. I see you when you don't think you can see yourself. And guess what? You're a star. Guess what? You can. You should never give up, and you should always say to yourself, why not today? I dare you to be as bright as you can be. You, me, and everyone else, we are going to change the world together because we are the light in the darkness. And guess what? I can see your light. I see you. You are a bright array of hope, happiness, and everything all at once. I will see you same place, same time tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to Born to Be a Star, 4th of July edition, and I'll see you tomorrow on July 5th. Oh my God, this month is going by so fast. And happy birthday to everybody's birthday it was. And have an amazing day. Or night. What time is it? I don't know. I'll see you tomorrow. My husband's being a douchebag. Can you hear him singing? Oh my God. He's singing some song about beef. Oh Lord, oh Lord. I'm going to go spend time with my boys right now. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.